So Delta Force's console tech test ended last week, and right after it ended, they dropped the AMA post on their official YouTube channel, giving us the opportunity to ask them any questions that we wanted to ask regarding the console tech test. So welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we cover everything FPS related. So if that's something you're interested in, hang out with me for a little bit because I really want to get into what they have to say about their console tech test. Almost a week ago, the official YouTube page for the Delta Force game posted the technical test on console ended earlier today. And then they gave us the opportunity to ask Shadow, the developer, anything we wanted to ask them. So here it is, less than a week later, and I'm interested to see what they have to say. They start off by saying, "Dear operators, it's your friend Shadow. Thank you for your love and support for the console version of Delta Force, as we just had an amazing run during the technical test last week. In this edition of Ask Shadow Anything, I'm here to answer some of the most asked questions about the console version, including controller optimizations, crossplay, anti-cheat, and etc. Check it out now." The first question they ask is, what are the target frame rates and resolutions on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS? Will there be options such as performance mode and quality mode? Will FOV slider be added? Now, if you weren't a part of the tech test, one of the two biggest complaints was the fact that you were capped at 60 frames per second and you didn't have the ability to change your field of view. But the Delta Force team is trying to justify the low frame rate by telling us that the game is going to run at 1440p on PS5 and Xbox Series X. I do think the Delta Force team should give console players the ability to exchange higher visual quality for more frames, especially if crossplay is enabled and they're going to let console players play against PC players. Because 60 FPS on a console versus 240 FPS on a PC is a massive disadvantage for the console player. Shadow confirming that the FOV slider will be added to the official launch version is a win for console players. If you remember, Call of Duty didn't have an FOV slider until Modern Warfare 2 in 2022. And again, if you're going to have console players playing with PC players, you definitely need to give console players the ability to change their field of view to match that of a PC player. The second question is, what optimizations are planned for aim assist, which currently feels weak? And their answer was, we highly value the experience of aim assist and have received frequent feedback during the test. We're happy to share that we will optimize aim assist in both modes, speaking of warfare and operations, to bring you a smoother shooting experience at official launch. Now, if you played MW2 in 2022 and MW3 in 2023, one of the biggest complaints from PC players was that the aim assist was too strong for console players and for controller players. And if you've played BO6, you would know that the aim assist is not that strong, especially when it's compared to MW2 and MW3. Delta Force is a game that was built for PC, and you can tell in the controls. And PC players have been carrying this game since December. So I believe in an effort to keep the PC player base happy, they severely limited the effectiveness of the aim assist, and that's just my opinion. But it's very obvious that the aim assist on this game is very bad, and they're gonna have to get it fixed before the official launch for console. Question number 3, the movement of operators with the controller feels stiff. What optimizations will be made in this regard? Can we expect the addition of analog input? And the official launch version, players can linearly control the movement speed with the left stick in Warfare and can walk in silent mode by moving left and right, which will optimize the movement experience to some extent. We will continue to optimize the movement speed on controller in the future, so stay tuned. Also, we plan to fully support it in a future update. Partial support will be available by the time the game launches on console. Official controller support launched with Season 5, and during the tech test for console, everybody that plays on controller can tell that it doesn't feel right. It's not optimized at all, and I really think they're gonna have to fix this before the console release. The movement is not great, and when you compare it to FPS like Battlefield or Call of Duty, you can tell that those games were optimized and built for controllers, and Delta Force is not. Saying that players can linearly control the movement speed with the left stick in Warfare, guys, it's not fun. It's not fun to use controller in this game right now. It's obvious to me and a lot of other people that they simply just got a mouse and keyboard and put it on your joysticks. So I wonder how long it's going to take them to actually get this fixed. And if it doesn't get fixed, I can see a lot of console players moving on from this game and going to Battlefield or back to Call of Duty. Question 4, what optimizations will be made to the controller key bindings when it's officially launched? In the technical test, it's a bit too similar to the keyboard and mouse settings. Will controller mapping be supported? And their answer was, the technical test already provides the controller mapping functions. Players can freely bind single keys and combine keys. However, it is not recommended to use extreme binding methods. We will continue to optimize the key binding logic in future updates to ensure consistent performance under various binding conditions. Now, I don't have a console controller that gives me the ability to map keybinds, but I do play on controller, on PC, and I use the Scuff Vision Pro. On that controller, I do have the ability to map keybinds. And what I will say is when I'm using that controller on Call of Duty, I can map keyboard keybinds onto my controller and it plays like a controller. But in Delta Force, if I try to use a keyboard keybind on my controller, it doesn't work the same way. The controller will let you use the keybind, but it will stutter as if you're holding a mouse key, even though you're playing on a controller. And it doesn't do the same thing on a keyboard. Question 6, the menu interface is a bit complicated. Will you consider making a menu interface that allows for quicker navigation and item selection, which is more user-friendly and efficient? And they say for existing interfaces, we will make optimizations to reduce the difficulty and unsmoothness for console players when navigating the menu. For the new content to be added in future updates, we will pay more attention to the console interface to ensure the efficient and user-friendly experience. I mentioned this in a video a couple of weeks ago. The user interface is not very intuitive and it's not built for controllers, and it's obvious again, guys. So we'll have to take their word for it that they're going to fix this in future updates. Question 7, will the interaction of controller key bindings be optimized, such as interaction method for opening containers? The official launch version will change the long press to short press for interaction. In future updates, we will continue to optimize the key bindings for interaction, allowing players to choose the interaction and method that suits them. Now, this is a quick fix, and I believe them when they say they're going to fix it before launch, but it is a necessary fix because having a long press to interact with items is such a pain in the ass, especially when you're going against other PC players that can quickly interact with a simple push of a key. Question number 8 is a hot topic, and they say there were too many bots encountered in the test. What will be the arrangement for bots in the official launch? And they say to improve the matching experience, we added bots in the tech test version last week. However, when the console version is launched, you don't need to worry about this. Most of your opponents and teammates in matches will be real players, bringing the excitement of intense confrontations. Guys, I don't believe it. I don't believe them when they say that, because bots in this game has been a big problem since the closed alpha, since the beta test, since December. Bots have been a real problem in this freaking game. And they didn't say that they were going to eliminate the bots. They said most of your opponents and teammates in matches will be real players. That leads me to believe that you're still going to be playing against bots in this game. If you watch Enders on YouTube, you will know that this is his biggest complaint in the game, and it's been that way since the launch, since the alpha stages of the game, where we have continued to play against bots in the warfare mode. And I don't understand their obsession with having us play against bots. Too often and way too obviously, we're playing against bots. And I don't know what they're going to do about it, or if they're going to just keep lying about it. But we're definitely not playing against real players when we're playing the warfare mode. And when you have 65, 70,000 people playing this game, I don't understand why you need to add bots in the first place. Question number 9. Are there any plans for more beta tests before the launch? Our technical test last week already witnessed a fair amount of players from North America. And the month before the official launch, we'll focus on optimizing the controller settings, graphics, and many other aspects based on your feedback. There are no tests planned before the official launch. Thank you for your understanding. All right, so they're done testing, they're done beta testing, they're done alpha testing. There's no more tech tests. Whenever they launch a game next month, it's officially going to be ready for everybody to play. Question 10 is, will more localized language options be added, such as Japanese, Russian, Spanish, German, French, and etc.? They go on to say the official launch version will support multiple languages, including English, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Russian, Turkish, Portuguese, French, Spanish, Japanese, Korean, German, and Arabic. We generally welcome console players from all over the world to experience Delta Force. They address the servers in question 11. Will there be servers set up in other regions such as Africa, the Middle East, etc.? Like the PC and mobile version, we have servers set up all over the world, hoping to bring a stable gaming experience to global players, including Africa and the Middle East. Now, I got something to say about this, because I don't know if it's a server issue or just how the game is coded, but right now when I'm trying to matchmake for certain maps in the operations mode, it can take forever to get into that game mode. Sometimes I'm waiting 15, 20, 45 minutes to get into a match. Again, I don't know if that's a server issue or just how they're doing matchmaking, but it's a problem, and I can't see this game surviving if people continue to wait 30, 45 minutes just to get into a game. Question 12 is, will there be crossplay only between PlayStation and Xbox, console only crossplay? And they say, we want to deliver a truly seamless cross-platform experience for players so they can effortlessly sync the progression between all platforms. As for crossplay, console players can choose to play with or against PC players, or they can choose to stay in a console exclusive queue. I think that's the move, guys. It's the move, because console players are constantly having to fight against PC players. And we all know that PC players have the upper hand when it comes to cheating in the game. If we can eliminate that cross-play ability and only have to deal with console players, I personally will be moving back to console and playing on console specifically for Delta Force. Question number 3 is a segue into what I was just talking about. For FPS players, anti-cheat measures are crucial, especially in the console version. There's extra concern about the converter behavior of using devices such as mouse for unfair advantage. What measures will Delta Force take to deal with this? And they say at present, our security team has taken targeted measures against cheating in controller and console scenarios. We will also continue to invest in in-game security and anti-cheating to create a fair and safe gaming environment for players of all platforms. Now, I do believe them when they say they're going to invest in anti-cheating and game security because they've been a strong proponent of anti-cheating since they launched the game. In fact, the GTI security team releases a report every week that lets us know how many people they banned, what they were banned for, how long the bans were, and who they were against. And if they continue to develop in that philosophy, I think this game will have a strong anti-cheat in the future. And the last question, is there a difference in server tick rate between the PC version and the console version? What measures has the development team taken to allow all players to compete in a fair environment? And their answer, the tick rate is consistent between PC and console. We have made multiple rounds of adjustments and tests on the aiming experience for the controller to strive for a balanced combat experience. Console players can also choose whether to match with players from other platforms, giving the choice to the players as we all hoped. All right, y'all, and that's the latest from the Delta Force team before they officially launch it for console next month. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button. If you really want to show some love, sub to the channel, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Peace.